Hi again. My name's Jack, and this is my second recording. And I'm working on a topic that I call Caterpillar Effect, which actually is the name of my website, but it's about living joyfully. And we're in times of great uncertainty, probably more uncertainty than ever since World War II. Because of that, it's easy to go into anxiety and fear and get totally lost and taken over. And if we allow that to happen, we live life fearfully, we avoid things, we're resistant, we're angry, we're depressed, and we're lonely. It's not a good way to live. And also because of that, we don't live in the moment. We're living from our fears of the future and our questions about what happened in the past. We're trying to control our life instead of just living it and being open to do the best we can every moment and do it joyfully and with an excitement. Like, we have this moment. It's the only moment we have. And I want to be present for it. I don't want to be worrying about tomorrow in this moment, because then I miss the moment. Or thinking about the past, what I should have done different. How does it apply to this moment? Again, I miss the moment. So what I want to do over the next series of talks is give specific ideas and practices which anybody can use to better be present, better live joyfully, and not be overwhelmed by anxiety. And there are many, many practices. When you go on the internet, you can search whatever, and you'll find a lot. And they're all good, but they're not all good for each of us. And we have to find the ones that work for us. So today I'm going to share one that I think is really simple, and it's really kind of neat. And it's interesting because it was developed by a woman who was an Australian doctor, and she put out a book in 1962, a long time ago for most of you. I remember that year, but it's still very relevant because it's on the basic ideas that all of these other practices really follow. And her name was Dr. Claire Weeks, and the book she entitled Self-Help for Your Nerves. And it was dealing with people who really have tremendous nervous problems and even lead to breakdown. But it's applicable to any degree of challenge you have, and just staying okay. It doesn't mean that you're going to say, oh, this is great with what's going on in the world. But it's okay, and you can still be happy and fulfilled and know what to do to have a good life, a good day, moment by moment. So in this book, she lists a 4-step process, and it has these steps. The first one is facing. And facing means that we realize and accept that it isn't going so well in our life. We're kind of overwhelmed by what's happening. And so we're not trying to pretend we're okay when we're not, because we know we're not operating easily. We're easily upset, we're more fearful, we want to hide, and so we admit that I'm not doing as well as I want to. The next one is accepting, and this is the one that is the most illogical maybe, because what accepting means is you accept exactly what your symptoms are right now related to anxiety. Like, my stomach's always in knots, I'm always nervous, a sound makes me jump. I have whatever is going on, you accept it. You don't fight it. You just accept it. And that seems very against most conditioning we've lived with. But by accepting it, there's a chance for it not to be solid and be attached. And so accepting, really important. The third step is the interesting one. The name she gave to it was floating. And it's kind of an interesting word, and we would all have different ideas. But for her, the idea was to float past tensions, float past fears, float past anxiety, float past all the physical symptoms, and especially float past that voice in your head that's telling you all this stuff all the time. And I look at it as floating as what I call, and many call, witness consciousness. You observe them, but you don't let them define you. So oh yeah, there's those thoughts. oh, there's that anxiety in my stomach, but you separate from it. So floating. And in the floating, you don't fight. Again, acceptance means you don't fight those feelings or thoughts, but you don't identify with them. And so you separate from them. And the last step, which comes from this third step, is letting time pass. You stay with the floating as long as necessary till you feel calm. And it will happen. Sometimes it can be a long time. For example, several nights ago, something came up when I woke up in the night, and I decided to do this. And it was a couple hours before I regained peace because it was a key issue. But it happened, and it worked, and then it was gone. And so that's a simple technique, and you might find it very useful. Now, as we go ahead and I do some more of these videos, I'm going to provide other techniques that are really used by a lot of people. But again, it's really important for you to find what works for you. It doesn't matter what works for me, it's what works for you. Other ones that I'll be discussing are meditation, inquiry, philosophy, compassion, forgiveness, and gratitude. And I'll probably come up with a few others by the time I'm done, but those are some key ones. So thanks again for listening. A couple final thoughts here. If you find this useful, please leave me comments, or if you find things you think I could improve, leave me comments. If other people you know could benefit from this, please share it. And again, look at my website, www.caterpillar-effect.com. There'll be written material related to these talks, but it'll be different from what I'm speaking now, but basically the same idea. And you can you can subscribe, but most important, I'd love your comments. So thanks again, take care, see you next time.